All right, guys. Thank you for joining me as per usual. Thank you. So, again, another packed full of information episode with what's going on overseas. We're also watching a couple of other interesting possible conflicts unfold around the world. Rhonda, thank you for the 5x5. Fritz, thank you for that. Appreciate it. So, all right, here we go. Lisa, Jan, Joe, sorry. Storm, Hackshaw, Adriana, Carrie, Cat, WTC, Nostradamus, Dobie, Pibbles, Beef and Chicken, Emily, Flown Grown, Spotted Fawn, WTC, thank you for the 5x5. Kathy Avicito, thank you for the FJB by FJB. Patty, Jeep Girl, Deanna, Rooster, Great Lakes, Noah, thank you for the 5x5. Noah, nice to see that you're in Philly. Overland, the Warden, Jay Moore, thank you for the 1x1. Williams, Tina, Cat Girl again, thank you for the 5x5. Mr. Landfill, Mr. John Johnson, Jaina, buy the book. Sean, Excalibur, thank you for the 5x5. Jay's Glock, Water Tiger, Penny, Prep to Adapt. Cat Girl, thank you for the 5x5. Skinny and Ghastly, Eric, and thank you for the 5x5. Someone put something interesting here. What the fuck is it? Oh, Gary, thank you for the 8x57. Jam and Jake, thank you for the 69 by 1 minus 8 minus 1. All right. William, thank you for the 5x5. Dustin, thank you for 5x5. All right, guys. So, with that, someone said, did it end? Am I still on? What am I? Can you guys still see me? Let me know. Reporting for duty, report. You're coming through. All right. No, because somebody said, did it end? And somebody said, oh no, he's off. YouTube had YouTube had enough. Uh, oh, sick and ghastly, not skinny. Sorry. All right, I guess I'm good. All right, yes, I'm still on. I'm still on. All right, guys, thank you, appreciate it. I guess some people's YouTube blacked out. I don't know, but I'm still looking at myself on the iPad here, so I guess it's all good. Prepper Revelator said you are good. Thank you. All right, guys, appreciate it. All right, so let's jump into the bullshit. So again, later tonight we're going to talk about what are we missing. Clearly, there's a lot going on, and it seemingly feels, guys, that it's all connected in some way, shape, or form. Again, it could be just conspiracy theory talk, or it could be something actual. Nonetheless, we are seeing interesting things go on, even with this whole Hamas-Israeli war. Now, I noticed that a lot of media companies are calling Hamas terrorists Hamas fighters. In some publications, they're calling them freedom fighters. I don't know, I don't really have a base on that because it doesn't matter what you call them. You can call them terrorists, you can call them freedom fighters. They're all still the same. They're jerk offs, right? So, anyway, I noticed that a lot of places are being careful of how they call them. Keep in mind, and I want you guys to keep this in the back of your head, the Muslim people have a lot of pull within the communications division, if you know what I mean. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your head. But they're not going to call them terrorists. They're going to call them freedom fighters or fighters. So let's get started. Now, I was looking for conflicts around the world or other conflicts that are starting to brew, gain momentum. We're seeing the tip of the iceberg on some of them. So one of them, we're going to go in the order. There's 6 conflicts right now that has the world's attention. The first one is the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. That's between South and North Korea. North Korea, as we all know, is developing an offensive plan to possibly, not that they will, possibly attack South Korea. With that, South Korea and the United States did this giant military exercise. So that's interesting. And of course, the military, United States military, is like, oh, we're just doing these nice little walkabouts and getting some fresh air with our tanks. So that's something that the world is looking at. Then everybody is now looking at the Kashmir, India-Pakistan border, where last week there was an unprovoked gunfire at India from Pakistan. Nobody knows why. Nonetheless, this is going down. So India and Pakistan have fought several wars since post-World War II, mostly over the Himalayan highlands of Kashmir. Violence here, however, has escalated suddenly in recent years as India accused Pakistan of supporting a deadly cross-border insurgency. And again, they were pretty quiet over the last couple of months, maybe. I mean, I'm not paying attention to it. But all of a sudden, there was that conflict going on. The fighting in Pakistan and India. And again, that was border fighting. That's not to say that one's going to attack the other. And if anybody attacks anybody, it's normally the Pakistanis that start their shit. We're all looking at the South China Sea. We're looking at Taiwan. Obviously, the possible invasion of Taiwan is there. Like a lot of you heard me say before, I think Taiwan should set it off. Even though they're going to lose, they should absolutely kamikaze China and just attack China with everything they have, just to catch them off guard. That would freak China out. I personally believe that would freak them the hell out if all of a sudden the Taiwan Navy and Air Force just fuck it and went all out. Though the Chinese would see them coming, it still would be an awesome set off. We're also looking at the obvious Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which is a war. It's not a conflict anymore. That is brewing. That's definitely, undoubtedly going to turn into World War III. From what I'm hearing from Russia now, which I heard from, I think today, nuclear option is on the table. I don't know what's going on with Russia, but seemingly the nuclear option is back on the table. Or maybe it never left the table. I don't know. We also got the Turkey-Syria border. We're watching escalation, if you will, in temperament between Syria and Turkey. Syria is already sticking their nose into the Israel-Palestine or Israel-Hamas conflict. Syria looks like they're about to set it off on Turkey. Turkey right now is asking for more assistance from the United States, or rather NATO itself, being that Turkey is a NATO country. So in Syria, Russia has attempted to keep flaring tensions between Iran and Israel at bay. So that Russia is trying to step in and quell that. Though Moscow faces another challenge in the country in the north. The Syrian government nationwide victory have left the Idlib province in the final bastion of the rebels and jihadis uprising at once, threatening to take Damascus. Again, this is why Turkey is nervous, because they're watching this uprising, if you will, happen. So people are paying attention, and I was new to this until I pulled this article up. I was new to the whole Syria-Turkey, not conflict. I knew they had conflict before. I didn't think anything was going on. But apparently now people are watching a possible conflict come out of Syria-Turkey. Then you also have Greece and Turkey, believe it or not. Greece Coast Guards had a run-in with the Turkey Navy the other day, and the Greece Coast Guards were breaking the balls of a Turkish fishing boat. Greek Coast Guards, according to the article, Greek Coast Guards were harassing a Turkish fisherman near the Somebody district of the Somebody's Aldine. Turkish Coast Guard chased away the Greeks, who hit the Turkish fisherman with sticks. They hit his boat with sticks, not him, his boat. I don't know. But those are the kind of skirmishes, guys, that lead to conflicts. So they're looking at that now. And then you have the India, wait, I did that already? No, right, the India-Pakistan. You have that conflict. Rather, that was the Kashmir, sorry. And you also have something interesting happening where India deployed S-400 missile units on China-Pakistan border. This is seemingly unconfirmed, though I looked up a bunch of articles and they did pop up. But the Indian Air Force having already operationalized 3 of its S-400 air defense missile squadrons along the borders with China and Pakistan. India and Russia officials are set to meet soon to discuss final delivery schedules for the remaining 2 squadrons. So India is stepping up their defense, if you will. Let's see, where else are we going to go? Right, we talked about the Air Force bullshit. Pakistan. This is in regards to what's going on in Pakistan right now. Sorry, India, Pakistan. Pakistan violates ceasefires along international borders in the Jammu and Kashmir Arnia, if I read that right. Pakistan Rangers, didn't know they had that, initiated unprovoked firing on Indian posts along the international borders in the Arnia sector of Jammu on Thursday night. That was last week. The Border Security Force said. A senior Border Security Force official told news agency PTI that Indian troops were retaliating belligerently to the attack. Or befittingly, to the attack. I definitely need glasses. One of the Border Security Force, Jawan, was injured in the firing. They don't say whether or not he was shot. According to the sources, Jawan was brought to the government medical college in Jammu for treatment. That could have been anything. So again, guys, Pakistan, India is something that just popped up on the radar. You also have the Armenian and the that other Muslim group looking to attack Armenia. You also have that about to go down. So there's a lot of things that are going down all at once. I mean, is it planned? Who knows? One side of me wants to say yes. The other side of me wants to say maybe people are just fed up. Maybe the arm ticket is making everyone aggressive. There is that. Someone said I'm blocking the chair. I'm blocking the chair from the camera. All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna butcher this name right up the ass, but it's Subhai al-Tufali, the first general secretary of the almost said lesbians Hezbollah, Lebanese Hezbollah, chastised Iran for not following through on their promise. Remember when the Iranian foreign minister last week said that if Israel goes into Gaza, all hell's going to break loose. I'm paraphrasing. With that, Iran hasn't done anything yet, and everybody's seemingly standing fast. So, the first general, Subhi, his chastising was basically stating, you have slaughtered the Ummah of Muhammad, you have partnered and cooperated with the United States, you have become a servant of the United States for destruction and annihilation of the Ummah. You are murderers of Muslim children. You are more cruel, more despicable, and vindictive than Yazid. Where are you in Gaza? Where are you in Palestine? So again, this is the head guy, the first general secretary of the Hezbollah. Not the lesbian Hezbollah, but the Hezbollah. Yeah, I am tired. I don't know. It was just a weird day today. It was a long, weird day. So the IDF says, this is an announcement, the IDF says Israel will not allow fuel into Gaza despite requests from humanitarian organizations and the UN. I did hear that. I thought Israel is on some different shit now. Again, I agree with Israel having to defend themselves. I understand that. But when you are now bombarding, pounding, and destroying Gaza, it no longer becomes defense. It becomes, I guess, offense. Maybe they should stay on the offense. Who knows? But nonetheless, it's starting to look like a bully campaign. Another announcement. Iranian Chief of Staff. Israel will lose the war even if it continues to bomb Gaza for a year. Now, again, this is the Iranian Chief of Staff who also, not that he said it, but the foreign ministry, the Iranian foreign ministry said that we were going to step in and do some shit. They didn't do a fucking thing. So there are people that are disappointed in Iran talking shit and not getting involved. But I didn't read any articles on whether or not Iran made any deals with the United States to step out of it. Marine's daughter, the work's going fine. AllPower said no, Israel declared war. That's okay that you declared war, but at some point in time, you got to look at the place you're bombing and go, all right, they had enough. You know what I mean? Like, at some point in time, man, you got. Granted, I know what they want to do to Hamas. I know how pissed they are about Hamas. Again, if you believe Israel had no part in this, I believe Israel had major role in this. Major. Again, there is no way, guys, like I said before, that you're going to allow all of these things to happen in your country leading up to the invasion. There's no way on God's green earth the Wall Street Journal is going to give you a heads up before any intel community is. And what about all of the other intel communities? So I personally believe that this was let to happen so that they had a reason to go to war. Sort of like what some people say about 9/11. 9/11 was let to happen because an FBI agent out of the Phoenix office wrote a letter stating the possibility that it's happening. The planes going into buildings. And with that, what happened? Planes went into buildings, and look where we are. We had the Patriot Act, we had a war overseas that we didn't need, and it was all because of money. So this, guys, is just, I can no longer sit here and think that, oh, well, Benjamin Netanyahu didn't see this coming. They absolutely did. And they had the Egyptians warn them. They had a bulldozer bulldozing into a wall where no one was firing back at this bulldozer. There was no soldiers at that wall where the bulldozers went through. They didn't have the amount of security they have around that wall, and nothing picked it up. I'm calling bullshit. I know somebody's talking about, what's his name? Someone said Chandler. It wasn't Chandler. Matthew Perry. And as though Chandler had a special t-shirt on, and I said he got the jab. He got all the jabs. I saw that, Watchman. But sidetracking, my thought process on that is that I think he took fentanyl, fell asleep in his pool, and drowned. Anyway, back to the shit show that we call the Hamas-Israeli war. Germany put 1,000 soldiers on alert for deployment to the Middle East in case of an emergency. The German army keeps 1,000 troops on alert for possible deployment to the Middle East in case of an emergency, given the prevailing tensions in the region as a result of the war between Hamas and Israel. Ground operations. An officer of the Israeli army was seriously wounded by an IED, and a soldier was moderately wounded during a firefight with Hamas in northern Gaza. Both wounded were taken to the hospital. Neither seemed critical. Serious is one thing, critical is an entirely different ballgame. And that's the other thing, too. A lot of people seem to think that this whole attack on Israel was to keep Benjamin Netanyahu in power. There's also that. Announcement. Israel today also stated that they will not cease fire. That they're like, fuck this shit. But this announcement, Israel has crossed the red line, according to Iranian President Raisi, if I said that right. The crimes of the Zionist regime have crossed the red lines, which may force everyone to take action. Washington asks us to not do anything, there it goes, but the U.S. continues to provide broad support for Israel. Now, this is why Iran didn't step in, because the United States did ask for them to step in. To step out of it or hold off, rather. But the United States is engaging and continuing to be engaged. And I'm going to talk about something later on tonight that someone raised this question, and I was like, no shit. And it has to do with military base and intel. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Earlier today, this was breaking news. Egypt rejects an apology from Israel regarding the shelling of its military position by an IDF tank and warned its neighbors about the inadmissibility of conduct operating in the so-called area. This is according to Egypt. During the incident, 9 servicemen of the Egyptian army were injured. The Egyptian army is set up on combat readiness. I thought they were, but again, this is what I mean about Israel. Now they're getting out of control. They are undoubtedly, guys, losing their fucking mind. You start bombing not even your ally, but people that were just like okay with you. They were just like, all right, be easy, Israel. Don't be cunts. And with that, they bomb one of their military positions. Accident or not, they are losing their shit by going bomb crazy. This is what I mean about it looking like a bullying campaign, because they're losing. They're just getting carried away. Announcement: the Pope called for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and repeat his call for the immediate release of the hostages. News: France was facing a serious security threat due to bombing of civilians in Gaza Strip. This situation is starting to get out of control. The France facing serious security threats, that is. From Lebanon, the Islamic resistance in Lebanon, Mujahideen, immediately targeted an Israeli infantry force with appropriate weapon and inflicted confirmed casualties on it. Now, this means, guys, the Israeli army was behind the border on the Lebanese territory and was directly attacked by Hezbollah. This is a new phase of war that the Israeli are headed in. That means they are going to be headed in direct confrontation with Lebanon. If they were, in fact, on the Lebanese territory or Lebanese side of the border. This should be very, very interesting. News. Another battlefront. Israel and the West are fighting for survival in a losing battle. Shit. It was observed in the United Nations session how the world, listen to this, how the world views Israel, as Palestine's envoy's speech was met with warm applause as a sign of support and acceptance, while Israeli representative found no one to support him. Again, because this is where Israel's going now. Their constant attack on Gaza, whatever, man. But now you're bringing other borders involved, including the Egyptian border, and they did some bullshit with the Jordanian border as well. Granted, man, you are definitely, you're looking to get Hezbollah and Hamas. I understand that. But you also got to be careful that you don't alienate other countries, because you are surrounded by nothing but Muslims and countries that do not like you. It's almost like they're asking for an ass whipping. Why? Because the United States is going to back them up. I could see the United States tucking tail and running from this, because this is going to get out of control. Anyway, Canadian Special Forces are now involved in the war. I was a little surprised to see that. According to Global News, Canadian Special Forces, including elements of the Joint Task Force 2, are currently on ground in Israel to assist in the security of the Canadian Embassy and its staff, as well as provide advisory roles to the Israeli Defense Force alongside other foreign special forces already in country. I know that the German Special Forces are there. I thought I read the Dutch, which I'm a little confused about that. They also said the Italian Special Forces might be there. I didn't hear anything about France. And then, of course, us, the United States. That's everybody gearing up for something. We shall see where this goes. We all know where this is going to go. We don't really have to see where this is going. We can all turn our TV sets off now. Never listen to another YouTube video, guys, on this matter. We all know what direction this is headed in. This is headed to Shitsville. And the fucking president is fucking going to greet you when you get there, to Shitsville. Or the mayor, rather. Sorry. Now, here's the question that I'm raising, that somebody else raised. There is an open question as to why the U.S. intelligence in Iraq and Syria were not able to prevent a daily attack on their bases? That was a very good question, being that their intelligence for a lot of bases, they usually give them a heads up when they're going to be attacked, if at all possible. And if they're not sure, they'll just let them know, hey, there might be an attack headed your way. There's always that. But these bases are seemingly caught off guard, according to other articles I've read, that they didn't see this coming. Again, I don't know how. So this is earlier today. Syria, a rocket from the Islamic Resistance of Iraq group has hit a U.S. base in Omar, in the Omar oil field located in Deir Ezzor province. Ezra province. The attack on the U.S. military base intensified enormously, which indicates that a wild-scale escalation is imminent. If they keep attacking these military bases like this, they are undoubtedly, guys, the United States, are undoubtedly going to get involved. We are already involved, but I mean super involved. I'm talking about boots on the ground involved. There was another video of a Hezbollah chief stating that he will, not stating, but they are thinking that there's another video coming from a Hezbollah chief, Nasrallah, which says that he will soon give the order to attack. Not sure what attacking he's talking about, military base or Israel. Who knows? But nonetheless, they're waiting for that to come through. Hamas offers Russia the release of 8 prisoners who hold Russian citizenship in exchange for supplies of weapons, especially anti-aircraft weapons. So Hamas, which I thought worked with Iran, which Iran worked with Russia, is holding hostages for ransom. We'll give you your 8 prisoners back, or your 8 hostages back, if you give us anti-aircraft weapons and weapons. Very interesting. And of course now, the United States is looking at that very closely to see what Russia does next. Will Russia give up the weapons, or will Russia say no? I think Russia's going to give up the weapons. In Israel, they are very disturbed by the possibility and are holding talks about this issue with Russia. So now the Israelis are in talks with Russia as to what they're going to do. I think the Russians are going to give this up. I wholeheartedly, undoubtedly think they're going to give this up. But that should be a very interesting turn of events if they give them the weapons. Because what's stopping them from being, you know what? We're not going to give you 8. We're going to give you 4. For the other 4, we want more weapons. So we have to see. Yeah, water tiger. You know what's funny? I think they're like, a lot of this is way more complicated than it has to be. It's almost as if they're complicating it on purpose. I don't know. But there seems to be a lot of bullshit going on with this. And it's never ending. Right? We're going to constantly see more bullshit as the days go on. I mean, with the whole nuclear talk back on the table, I don't know, man. I don't know. This needs to be long. But we are definitely, undoubtedly, just waiting for the other shoe to drop. We're waiting for the hammer to drop or the shoe to drop. Who knows? Movie scripted by Jerry Bruckheimer. Now, the bigger question, I think a lot of people are more concerned about what's going to happen here. What are we going to start seeing here? I mean, as far as nuclear goes, anything's possible. You know, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm actually not concerned if it happens or not. Obviously, if it happens, guys, we'll be concerned. But as of right now, I'm not worried about it. I don't even give a fuck at this point. What I'm more worried about, not worried about, but concerned, is the infighting here in the United States. We're seeing so much infighting; it's out of control, and it's only going to get worse. There are people that I don't understand why the gay people they made this flag. I have to show you this flag. I don't want to show you this flag, but I have to because I don't understand the ideology, guys, behind this flag because it's the dumbest thing in the world. And if this gets demonetized, I whatever, I don't give a fuck at this point. But you guys got to see this flag. Please pay close attention to this flag. It's the most dumbest thing I have ever seen. So what you're looking at, guys, is the Palestinian flag with the gay colors. How fucking shit? How retarded do you have to be to put this on your flag? You want to support Palestine by putting the gay colors, and Palestinians do not support this flag. This is actually a disrespect to their flag, if you ask me. And I know that Palestinians are looking at this flag and going, "What in the actual fuck?" So yes, though it's disrespecting their flag, that's the only upside to it is that they're disrespecting their flag because they like to burn our flag. But nonetheless, for whatever weird reason, these people seem to think that this flag is going to get them the respect they want or demand or whatever the hell they're thinking. Let's get this foolery off of here. It's bad, man. It's very bad. I saw that flag. I must have stared at it for like 5 minutes because I was like, is that a rainbow? What is this rainbow shit? Now, this couldn't show, for whatever reason, this wasn't able to show you the full image. The rainbow colors are on both sides of the flag, not just the top. It's on both sides, top and bottom. But why? What? I mean, like, yo, imagine going to Palestine with this flag and flying it around. Not only would you get beat up, there'd be a broomstick up your ass, the splintered end. They'd wrap you in that flag and then burn you alive. They would. I don't. The stupidity that's out there is so frustrating these days. I know people like, why would you get frustrated at stupid people? Because the amount of stupidity that we're seeing, guys, it's I can't understand it. I can't understand it. So Adriana says she's having issues watching me as well. I don't understand this, guys. It's yes, Nostradamus. The flag screams. Yeah, really does. And yeah, no, you can't fix stupidity. But like the I was watching a video today. This is unrelated to this. This is talking about stupidity, actually, but not the Hamas war. And they were asking this girl, and I know some of you saw this video. You had to have seen this video. Please don't let me be the only one that watched this stupidness. This girl was being interviewed, and they were asking her, would you cook for your man? And she said no. And the guy goes, why not? Or whoever's interviewing her goes, why not? She goes, because I like to suck dick. And instead of feeding my man, I'd rather suck his dick. So the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, I'm losing brain cells, for Christ's sakes, man. I'm losing fucking brain cells listening to this idiot speak. And she was proud about it. That was the worst part about it. She was like, would you ever cook for your man? No. I would use Grubhub or Uber Eats and just suck his dick. I was like, what the fuck? Where the hell? And she looked stupid. That was the crazy shit. Like, when you looked at her, before she answered the question, I'd automatically said, she's stupid. Something stupid's going to come out of her mouth. And boy, did stupid fall out of her mouth. Oh, my God. She was just, and she had that dumb, airhead, moron, idiotic, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris look on her face. I could not believe that. And I was just like, I was so bothered by it. And I'm not bothered by a lot, man. I'm not bothered by a lot, but I was super bothered by it. I'm like, and I was bothered by the fact that she thought it was okay to say that, one. To two, to think like that. And like, not even know how to make toast. Like, holy shit. But the stupidity on her face, if you guys see this video, just look at her. She just looks dumb. Like, if there was a definition of stupid, her face would be in a picture. Her face would be in a dictionary for stupid. But what does stupid look like? And you look at her, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? There are just so many. And maybe, yes, I shouldn't be deep thinking about stupid people and their actions and the things they do. But there's just so much. There was a kid, and this is on the killing wasn't on video, but there was a kid who followed his teacher into the bathroom, killed her, raped her, dumped her in a garbage can, took the garbage can outside of the woods, and left the body in the garbage can, or dumped the body in the woods. I can't remember how it went. But the amount of evil that's out there as well, guys, it's just evil is fueling stupidity. It's got to be, right? Because I mean, what else are we? I don't know. I can't understand half of the shit that's going on. I'm like, why did this kid do that? He was in school. His teacher left to go to the bathroom. He followed her in there to kill her. Like he wasn't going to get caught. Fucking Anne-Marie's like, you're probably the only one I watched it. Shit. Yo, and I definitely lost brain cells on that. But I don't know. There's a lot of... it's just a lot of bad shit, man. I mean, let's just table the conflicts that are going on right now. Fuck those things. Fuck them all. Around the world, there's just nothing but evil and stupid. And evil is backing up stupid. And there was a saying, a quote, it was a quote. I'm not sure if it was in the Bible or not. Maybe it was in the Bible. I want to say it was Isaiah. One of the Isaiah verses. Something about in the end days, good will become evil and evil will become good. Meaning that anything you do good is going to be evil. Or is going to be perceived as evil or talked about as evil or convince people that it's evil. While evil things like the shit we're seeing today, it's going to be good. Like this whole shit, this movement they had of whores. They had some kind of whore movement where they were like, women were like, oh, I embrace my whoreness. I'm like, wait, what? Thank you for the donation, Tara. I appreciate it. And I couldn't understand, like, why you would push being like, oh, God. My neck hurts every day. Every day. I'm like, why? Everything is just fucking, I'm all like, like clammed up because there's so much stupid, like, remember that movie Dumber and Dumb? Someone just brought it up. That's what it's like. But it's not two dudes, guys. It's the whole world. We watch people do dumb shit. Like, oh my God, yesterday, the other day at work, when we are pulling into the firehouse, we block the streets. Don't know why, being that if whoever's going to hit the rig, I'd rather them hit the rig than us. Nonetheless, we stand in the street. So as we're standing in the street, we're looking at the intersection. Me and my buddy, we're just shooting the shit, talking while the rig's backing in. And there's a van who stops for us. He stops at the light. Or rather, he stops for us. 2 cars stop for us. This one car comes around the van and tries to cut in front of him. He starts to move because we were backing in already. He hits the car. Without missing a beat, the chick jumps out of the car like Super Negro. She's like, ha-ha, and she starts yelling at the guy, motherfuckering him. Why did you hit my car? You're a fucking piece of shit. You're an asshole. You saw that I was coming around your side. Why didn't you? She was making the left turn from the far right lane. Sorry, she's making a right turn from the far left lane. So that means both cars stopped here and here. And here's her car coming around, and he hits her. She's trying to make a super fucking right turn. She jumps out and starts yelling at him. So I walk over there, and I'm like, yo, do me a favor. Just call the cops. And she's like, you need to mind your business. I'm like, anyway, You need to just call the cops. Don't argue with her. And then she goes, why don't you mind your business? You And she calls me a faggot. I'm like, really, faggot? I'm like, lady, I said, your weave is fucked up. And with that, she blew up. Fuck you! And her head exploded. And she was like, she grew 10 feet tall. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go. And I start walking away. And then she spits at me. And I go, you missed. And I just kept walking. She started flailing about in the street. And I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, yo, dude, just get back in your car. Wait for the cops. And then, and that was it. And then I came back outside and she was gone. And the cops came, took the report. And that was it. But, it was clearly her fault. Big Chap, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the donation. It was clearly her fault, but the entitlement in her face, in her eyes, as to her thinking that she was right. You fucked up. In fact, let's take it back even further. 2 years ago, this guy robs a store. The store clerk shoots the guy. The next day, the guy's family is on TV saying that the clerk should be arrested. Why did you have to shoot him? He was stealing stuff. It's just stuff. Keep in mind, the guy who was robbing the store had a gun and trained it on the clerk. Yo, it was bad. And the family's like, he should be arrested. I'm like, what should he be arrested for? For fucking what? Anyway, yeah, the stupidity is out of control. And so when we have people now who are marching in the streets for Hamas, and people are brazenly stating that they back Hamas in their action. There's a YouTuber, Hassan something. This guy's this is a guy, this is a YouTuber, Hassan, whatever his name is. If I ever saw him in person, me and him would be fucking getting into a fist fight. This guy is the true word piece of shit. Anyway, he goes on to states that the Israeli babies deserved it. He stated a lot of dumb shit in the past, a lot of crazy shit in the past. But he goes on to say Israeli babies deserve what they got. With that, Ethan Klein, who's another idiot, who's another YouTuber, a lot of you know who he is, who they are rather. He's now sitting there going, what do I? He's a liberal, Ethan Klein, that is, and so is a Hassan character. So now the liberals are going after each other for all of this shit that they're watching. Yeah, I think it's Hassan B, right? Hassan Campbell, is that it? Hassan Campbell. That's who it is, Hassan Campbell. And then Ethan Klein is the other one. But these people, it's getting bad out there. That's all I can say. And we're all looking at this crisis in Israel. Meanwhile, we need to be focused on at home. Because the things here, guys, are going to get far out of control, especially come November 4th. I think November 4th is going to turn into a shit show. The more I'm starting to hear about November 4th, the more comments I'm starting to read, I'm like, this could turn into a shit show. Tiger454, thank you for the donation. Needless to say, it turns into a shit show. I will be there, dodging glass and bullets and shit like that, dodging Palestinian flags, waving at my head. But it's going to turn into a shit show. I think that's going to become a really bad thing. I think, guys, the Israelites, or the Hebrew Israelites, as you like to call them, they might be there. If they show up, it's fucking on. Though they're going to be outnumbered, dramatically outnumbered. They're talking about, I think, 7,000 people attending this rally November 4th, Saturday. So this should be a super interesting rally. And they're trying to, actually, the call to action is they want this to be the biggest rally in the world. So this is undoubtedly, guys, this should be very interesting, November 4th. At the very least, the turnout should be very, very interesting. We shall see. So, yeah. It's in D.C. And listen, guys, yeah, don't go. I mean, like, I'm going because I'm a moron. But don't go to that. If you don't need to be there, don't be there. I don't think it's gonna be peaceful. Or maybe it will be. We'll see. But I can see it turning into a shit show if enough Jews show up. But yeah, the black Israelites, the guy that yell at they used to be downtown on 42nd Street. They used to yell at people all day. It used to be fun to watch them yelling at people. They would like, you white man, shut up, and all the time. They were the equivalent of the KKK, or rather skinheads. KKK skinheads, one or the other. They were equivalent of that. They used to stand on the street corner, spewing hate all day, every day. Thank you for the donation. Yes. What is that? On breed of prepper. I'm pretty sure I fucked that up. But yeah, it's everything is going to get worse before it gets better. Everything, not just like what's happening overseas. Everything across the board is going to get a whole hell of a lot worse before it gets better. I didn't see, like, we all saw this Middle Eastern thing happening at some point. We all saw that. That's without a doubt. But what I didn't see, guys, was the infighting we are watching around the world. We're watching so many crazy rallies turn violent. We're watching, and now these guys look Muslim because they looked Arabic, actually. There was a video of two guys beating up on what seemingly looked like a retarded kid. It was a grown man. He might have been in his late 20s, early 30s that they were beating on. He was on a bicycle, and they were just like, they were picking on him. Now, the one thing I know about like Muslim men in certain countries, I've watched them do this shit before with women and weaker people or people who are by themselves. They get in groups and they start picking on people. I'm just waiting for that to happen around here. Now, it's not going to happen in a neighborhood like this or in Harlem, but I'm waiting for someone to fucking do some dumb shit like that. I'm really, like, I'm looking forward to it, because it's just one I'm going to let them have it, because the ideology, guys, that you're going to pick on people because you're now in a group. It's the most cowardice shit you can possibly do. It doesn't get any more cowardice than that. Like, it really doesn't. So, of course, guys, all I can say is that this is going to get a whole hell of a lot worse. Wherever you are in the country, keep your head on the swivel. Don't let your guard down. I mean, listen, it's and the gun grab thing. That's it's not a gun grab, guys. They're destroying the Second Amendment. That's all they're trying to do, and we're going to see more of these weird shootings pop up, so that they can make more calls for firearms. Biden everybody's assuming Biden's going to try some shit soon. I don't see it happening. And even if he does institute whatever he's going to institute, people are not giving up their firearms. That is not fucking happening. Like, not at all. Also, guys, last piece of news. Two last pieces of news, actually. Israel's name is now being deleted from online maps of leading apps in China, such as Baidu and Alibaba. So their maps that they use, I guess, to deliver whatever they do, they're taking Israel off the map. That's stupid. Taking Israel off the map doesn't remove Israel. Like, that kind of stupidity, that kind of thinking is moronic. They're like, we're going to delete Israel off our maps, and hopefully it'll disappear for real. I mean, like, what are you thinking that's going to happen? Anyway, that was the Chinese and its stupidity. Removing people from history books, like Germany did a couple years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago now, they were removing Hitler from their history books. You should not remove Hitler from the history books. That is a bad idea. That being said, Israel is removing Greta Thunberg from their history books or any books about her. That is still stupid. being childish like that on both sides, Israelis, Germans, because you want to get rid of people who don't agree with you, is dumb. These people need to stay in the book so we know how stupid and heinous they were. You do not move people or remove people out of books because you don't like them. That is not how the fucking world works. Because somebody's going to be like, well, what's wrong with this? What's that girl? Who's that girl's name? Oh, we can't mention her name. She's the climate activist. You know, it's like, yo, leave it alone. Let Hitler stay in the books. Let the statue stay up. Let whatever the fuck you got of Hitler stay up. So we're reminded of the evil that once fucking scoured the planet, or was on this planet, rather. But removing people from the books is a childish, moronic thing to do. Anyway, removing a country off a map is even stupider because it's still there. Someone's going to look at that map and go, that's still Israel. It's the shape of land or blackout or whatever you do is still Israel. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Also, guys, Biden sends, this is news, this happened 2 days ago. Biden sends war power notification to Congress following the strike in Iraq and Syria. President Biden officially notified Congress of the targeted strikes that he ordered earlier this week and promised to take further actions against further attacks on U.S. base and troops in the region. The president, in a letter to Speaker Mike Johnson, Louisiana Republican, and Senate Tempor, I don't know who the fuck that is, they must have messed that up, and President Patty Murray, Washington Democrat, explained his rationality for ordering retaliatory airstrikes against militia groups in Iraq and Syria affiliated with Iran. Mr. Biden is constitutionally required to notify Congress of the use of military force under the War Powers Resolution. Mr. Biden's letter to Congress doubled down on the warning from the Pentagon to Iran that the United States would not hesitate to take further action to protect U.S. forces. So there we go. It's funny how there was a video of Biden stating, hold on. Can I find it? Can I find it? No, I can't. Of course I can't. There was a video of Biden stating that, oh, I'm wondering if I could send it and show it to you guys. You know what? I'll put it on Instagram. But he says that Donald Trump was going to start a war with Iran. That he was very close to starting a war with Iran, and that's why this election is more important, because we have to get Trump out of office. Paraphrasing. Look who started a war with Iran, or who's starting a war with Iran. Mr. Joe Biden. Go fucking figure, guys. Also, a lot of you saw this. It was a riot at the Russian airport in I forgot what airport that was. Dagestan, right? It was an airport in Russia that was mobbed by Muslims looking for Jews. They raided the entire airport. They broke doors down. They were even stopping planes to search for Jews. This was some shit, guys, out of a Nazi movie, where they were looking for the Jews in the walls or the floor. They were on the tarmac looking for planes that had Jews on it. And the one question in my head that I can't shake was, were they going to kill these people? Right? Why would you go out of your way to that length? And you should have seen the amount of people. There were thousands of people, not hundreds, thousands of people in the airport, breaking down doors, scaring the shit out of all the workers. There was one video where they opened the door and the workers are huddled in there, all scared, and they're yelling at them in whatever language they're yelling at them in. And they're like, the airplanes are not here, there's no Jews here. And they said that there were no Jews here, meant in the airport. But they're like, the planes are out there, and then they go out to the planes, and then they do the same shit there. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure planes can't run over people that well. But I would have tried, or at the very least, got it to a nice, decent speed, took the landings out from under me, and slid into these people. That would have been my approach. But then again, I'm an asshole. But nonetheless, guys, this is getting bad. If they are storming airports looking for Jews, the Jews in the walls, if they're looking for them, this is a fucking problem. This is the biggest problem I've ever seen. I thought I would never see in my lifetime. The actual anti-Semitism is real. I know that there's some things that Jews blow out of proportion, but in this case, this is real. When you have a whole airport full of Muslims looking for Jews, that is not good. Like, not at all. Thank you for the donations, man. I appreciate it. Too Many Clam said he just came back from DC. You know, listen, DC like can seriously like eat my dick. Like 8 Ways of Sunday eat my dick because I'm like, it's the hub for evil. It's pretty much what it is. It's the center of evil, at least here in the United States, and in other parts of the world where they all conglomerate there, like where the WEF meets every year, right? Or where the UN meets, and how they're gonna fuck the people of the world more. You know, who can screw the people of the world more? That's the contest the elites are having right now. How much more ass raping can we do for the citizens of the world? That's exactly where they are right now, because they are wholeheartedly, 1,000% dividing us, dropping wedges in between us like you wouldn't believe, and we're falling for it. Right? I'm trying my best not to pick sides, but these Muslim dudes, they're gonna force my hand. They're forcing my fucking hand. You know, I mean, that's not to say, guys, that if a Muslim guy gets beat up or hurt, I'm not gonna help him. I'm gonna help everybody and anyone. But the shit that I'm seeing, the fighting that I'm seeing, the bullying, it's out of control. And somehow people are like, well, Israel needs to give back the land. If you look at the map of Israel versus all of the Islamic nations around them, and then you look at and you read the Bible, I mean, listen, people are going to argue about what it says in the Bible about Israel versus what's really going on, what this is really about. At this point, it doesn't matter. At this point, guys, it's just only going to get worse for everyone. For the Israelis, for us here in the United States, people in Germany, UK, France, Italy. It's getting bad. There are tens of thousands of people protesting any given time of the day. There's a protest every day all over the place. I saw people in Mexico. Yes, the taco eating country of Mexico. They had a rally for Palestinians there. Venezuela, I think, had a rally for Palestinians. South Africa. All over the world, they are rallying for these people who are undoubtedly, ultimately going to fuck them in the ass in the long run. Thank you, Prepper Revelator. Thank you for that. So, yeah, guys, this is undoubtedly going to get well out of control. And I mean on a personal level. I mean like here. People blocking the roadways and the streets, breaking in the cars, beating up cars. Meanwhile, people had nothing to do with the fucking rally. This is getting out of control. This is going to affect us directly some way, shape, or form. Nations against nations, kingdom against kingdom. That's the plan. More divisiveness. Divide the people down to their individual social circle. To their own social circle, where they're standing in that circle on their own by themselves. This is, like I said, guys, going to be stupid. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go off the air now. I should be doing a Wednesday midweek report, and I will be doing a Friday night live stream because Thursday night I'm working. I'll be doing a Friday night live stream. And then after that, I'm probably going to leave the live stream and head into DC early in the morning to park my car 1,000 million miles away from fucking that area so they don't toss my car or throw a match in it, because I just see this getting out of control. Anyway, guys, I will see some of you guys in the Angry Truths channel in about 5 minutes. The rest of you guys I will see Friday night for the doubleheader. All right, guys, thank you for watching. If I can figure out how to turn myself off.